Think about a skyscraper. During high-rise construction, there's a giant crane sitting right in the middle of the building, sometimes hundreds of meters above the ground. But when the building is finished, the crane is gone. No giant hull, no wreckage, no helicopter carrying it away. So here's the question almost nobody asks. How do they remove cranes from the middle of skyscrapers when there's nowhere to move them? Today, we're going to break down one of the most fascinating and hidden engineering tricks in modern construction. Section 1. Why cranes end up inside buildings. Let's start with why this problem exists at all. For low buildings, cranes stay outside. Easy, but once a building gets extremely tall, something changes. Wind becomes dangerous. Lifting materials from the ground becomes inefficient. Space around the building disappears. So engineers use tower cranes that climb with the building itself. These cranes are either built into elevator shafts anchored through the floors, or embedded inside the core of the skyscraper. As the building grows taller, the crane literally jacks itself upward, adding new sections below it. By the end of construction, the crane is trapped, surrounded by concrete, steel, and glass. So, I know you will ask, how do you remove something that weighs tens of tons from the inside of a finished building? Section 2. The big crane can't leave. Here's the key rule of skyscraper construction. The crane that built the building cannot remove itself. It's too heavy, too large, and there's no runway. So instead of removing it whole, engineers take it apart piece by piece. But to do that, they need help for sure. That's where the second crane comes in. Section 3. The crane that removes the crane. At the top of the building, engineers install something called a derrick crane. This crane is much smaller, light enough to sit on the roof, powerful enough to lift crane parts. Here's what happens. The giant tower crane stops operating. The small derrick crane is assembled at the top. Piece by piece, it removes the crane arm, the counterweights, the mast sections. Each piece is lowered safely to the ground. Slowly, the massive crane disappears. But now we have a new problem. Section 4. How do they remove the last crane? Now the only crane left is the small one on the roof. Yup, I can hear you saying, how do you remove that? This is where engineering becomes almost poetic. The derrick crane disassembles itself, breaks into smaller components. Each piece is small enough to fit into an elevator. Yes, they take the final crane down inside the building. Sometimes pieces go down freight elevators, sometimes down stairwells, occasionally lifted by helicopter if needed. By the end, nothing remains on the roof. No crane, no trace, just a finished skyscraper. Section 5. Why this works. This entire process works because of precise weight calculations, structural planning done years in advance, buildings designed to temporarily support cranes. Every bolt, floor, and beam is calculated for loads that will only exist during construction. The public sees the finished building, but hidden inside it is the memory of machines that built it and vanished without a trace. Section 6. The bigger picture. This is what modern engineering really is. Not just building tall, but planning how to undo the tools that made it possible. Skyscrapers aren't just monuments of steel and glass. They're puzzles solved years before the first brick is laid. So the next time you look at a skyscraper, remember, at some point a massive crane stood exactly where people now work, live, or sleep, and it disappeared without anyone noticing. Thanks for watching Curious TV today. If you discovered some information about cranes today, please hit the like button, share this video with friends, and subscribe for more deep curiosity dives into the hidden forces shaping our world.